Hey everyone, welcome back to Just One More Opinion. My name is Charlie, and today I will be reviewing Black Widow. It's been a while since I've done one of these Marvel MCU reviews. We also haven't had any MCU new stuff. Well, we've had Loki, but I waited until the end to do a review of Loki. It's coming in a couple of days. But yeah, Black Widow was released last week. Today is the 15th of July. Wow, time does fly. It's been a week since I saw it for the first time. I've watched it twice now. And yeah, I'm ready to talk about it. So what did I think? Oh, and spoilers ahead for anyone who hasn't seen it. Go watch it and come back if you want. And yeah, so basically, my general opinion is I really liked it. And the main reason for it is it's a good movie. It's a good story. It's not a bad MCU film. I think those are far behind us right now. Like Thor: The Dark World, for me, it's still a pain to to see, and Iron Man 2 is a bit like and the Incredible Hulk is kind of like the black sheep of the family. And I think Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige have just been releasing decent content for the past 5, 6, 7 years now. And yeah, Black Widow is another hit, I'd say. I think it does fall short in terms of what the scope could be. But again, I didn't go into the movie thinking, oh, this is going to be another Avengers Endgame stakes, high level stakes of a movie. No, I thought, yeah, it's going to be a nice movie. Finally, a Black Widow film with Scarlett Johansson's brilliant portrayal of Natasha Romanoff, and that's what we got, and I'm glad we did. I think it's a really action-packed movie. Like, the fight scenes are just amazing. I really enjoyed it. The cinematography was also quite good for an MCU film. There were some shots that were really well made, well filmed. I enjoyed those. But yeah, why didn't we have this movie released in 2016, 2017, like after Captain America Civil War? Because this movie happens between Civil War and Infinity War. So why the delay? The double delay because of 2020, 2021, this situation that we're living in. Yeah. Well, a lot of the reasons have to do with, I believe the previous Marvel Studios boss, like the big man, he had made some comments in terms of if female-led superhero movies could be successful. I'm glad he is not in command anymore, because this movie was really good. For me, the highlight is obviously Florence Pugh's Yelena. Cannot wait to see more of Yelena in the MCU. I think, like, Florence Pugh is such a talented actress. If you haven't seen her act before Black Widow, go watch Midsummer, Lady Macbeth, Little Women, even Fighting With My Family, which is like a WWE movie. Like, it's based on a Paige, a WWE diva superstar. And yeah, Florence Pugh she's just awesome. And she's been nominated for an Academy Award for her work in Little Women. So, like, just to have her in the MCU as Yelena, as basically the next Black Widow, is just awesome. Like, I love it. And I think she made the movie like 5 times better than it could have been. If there was no Yelena, if there was no Florence Pugh, the movie could have been like worse than it was, because I think a lot of the even the emotion of the movie, the dramatic tension, most of it came from the Yelena character and not Natasha. And that was one of the critiques that I've been seeing over the internet, is that like Florence Pugh and even David Harbour as Red Guardian, who is hilarious by the way, like they steal the show, and it should be Natasha's show. It should be the story about Natasha, like Black Widow, and ScarJo's performance kind of is on the background in a way, and I think like fair enough, I get that, but most of those critiques, most of that feedback is to do with personalities of the characters, and Natasha has never been like this fun, over the top personality on screen. Like she always acted opposite Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, who is eccentric, who is an over the top kind of character. And I don't think saying that she didn't live up to, or she wasn't the best in her movie. I don't think why compare? I think what ScarJo did with Natasha in this movie is what she's been doing with the Black Widow character for like the past 10, 11 years. And I quite liked it. I think, in a way, this movie had the finality to the Black Widow character that we needed, but there could have been something more. The post-credit scene was not really enough as a sort of goodbye to the character. And my biggest critique of the movie is that even though it's a nice story, like why tell this story after Endgame, after Civil War, Infinity War, after all this, after Natasha died in the Endgame? Why make this movie now like this with this story if you're not gonna have more setups, like more consequences for the MCU's Phase 4? And why not have like a moment in the movie, not in the post-credit scene, to really appreciate Black Widow, like her character and Scarlett Johansson's performance as Natasha? That was kind of my biggest like letdown, I would say. I really enjoyed like the diving into her traumatic past, like what she did, Budapest, like the whole thing with Dracov's daughter. I enjoyed that. I think one of the biggest positives about this movie is that it tackles such dark, deep, horrifying themes as child trafficking and the like exploiting women. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that the director, Cate Shortland, didn't really sugarcoat anything. She didn't want to, I don't know, like not make those issues relevant, like put those issues in the back burner or like as a side thing. Like she really focused on that, and the whole thing with the Red Room and Dracov really tackle that in an honest way, I would say. So that's one of the things that I really appreciated, is diving into that past, that life experience of Natasha in the Red Room, having a fake family, having a sister, a fake but real sister, somebody that she cared about. And then we see, oh my god, those opening credits, like that was unlike anything I'd seen in the MCU. It was so visceral, so raw. Like it makes, oh my god, I get shivers just thinking about those opening credits. And I saw the movie only twice, but like they're like now they're ingrained in my brain. Like just see that, and the music. Like that was the moment that I thought, like, ooh, this is gonna be a bit different than from the MCU formula that we've had in some of the movies already. So I appreciated that, even though again, that was a story that needed to be told. In the perfect world, it would have been told already in 2016 or 2017, or even before then, and it would have been a slightly different story, like in terms of the temporal context, because this happens after Civil War, because Natasha's on the run from General Ross, who I hoped would have had a bigger presence in the movie. And also, what the hell happened to him from his scenes in Civil War and now in Black Widow? Because only a few days or a few weeks tops have gone by, and in Civil War he had like a grayish hair, but he looked kind of good-ish, and in this it's blonde, but he looks very sickly. I even thought, like, from the trailers that they had de-aged him, and this was before Civil War, like in 2000 and something. So that was weird, right? I think so. Like, why do that? Hopefully we will get some answers in She-Hulk and in future MCU projects, because I do hope we get to see General Ross as Red Hulk. Like, that is the way to go with the character. Because why bring him back in Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, and now Black Widow? And the other thing that people are talking about as some sort of critique to the movie is the Taskmaster twist. And some of it, I completely get it. I agree even. Like, why bring a character that is so cool, kind of like this Deadpool character in the comics, and on the big screen in their first appearance? They don't really talk that much. They're really mysterious. They're kind of the top henchman of the big bad of the movie, the real villain. I get that. That was kind of a hit and miss of the movie. But for the story that they wanted to tell with the character, that worked fine. Of course, let's see what they do with a Taskmaster mantle in the future. But yes, Taskmaster is Antonia Dreykov. And at the time I didn't understand the connection. Antonia and Anthony, Tony. Taskmaster is Tony Masters in the comics. So that was kind of a fine little Easter egg. But yeah, what a twist. Dreykov's daughter, first mentioned by Loki in the Avengers movie in 2012, also the first mention of Budapest, is Taskmaster. And the thing that I appreciated about it is that Taskmaster isn't just a blind, follow the rules henchman. Like, she is a victim of the villain. She is yet another victim. And that was really the thing that I was intrigued most about the Taskmaster character. Because yeah, Dreykov, I don't know his first name, but Dreykov is the real villain. Like, oh my god, the guy, there was no good in him. It was just pure evil. And that's kind of like, yeah, a bit two-dimensional. But yeah, that was, some people are just like that. Some people are like that, and then they end up being president of a country. Some people are just like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the fact that Taskmaster, Antonia Dreykov, was a victim of her father, Dreykov, of the real villain of the movie. So that was a cool choice to show that. Of course, some people speculated that Melina might have been Taskmaster. Like, Taskmaster might not be a man; it might be a woman, and that was really cool. And with the story that they wanted to tell, with exploiting women and all the trafficking that they did with the children, the horrifying things that happens in the Red Room, outside the Red Room, at all, like around that organization and Dreykov, it made sense that Taskmaster, a woman, and Dreykov's daughter, would be a victim. Like, just because of the way that he treats all the Black Widows. Even Melina, who is the one kind of responsible for designing the agent, the neurological, psychological agent that kind of inhibits them from... Yeah, it's a bit hard to explain, and English is not my first language, if you haven't noticed. But yeah, I really enjoyed the action. I think the action was one of the highlights. Sometimes a bit too much, too on the nose. There were lots of cuts in the editing room. It kind of diminished like the impact of some of the punches, the throws, all the choreography. But overall, really good. The cinematography, again, there were some images, especially in the beginning, like with the intro in Ohio, 1995, with the fake family, like some imagery, like wow, this does not look like an MCU movie. This does not look like an MCU intro, opening scene, like really good. And yeah, the Budapest, I forgot to mention, yeah, the Budapest mission. What happened in Budapest? Now we know. Now we know. But I wish we would have been shown what happened in a flashback sequence. Like, Hawkeye does have an appearance, like just the voice of Clint in that flashback little scene with Dracov's daughter in the building, blah blah. We do see him call Natasha, blah blah. Hear him actually, but seeing it would have been more fun. You know, it would have been like cool. Now we know what happened in Budapest. Not just like, oh, it was supposedly the day, the mission, the last mission, or the first mission for Shield, or the last mission before Natasha started working effectively for Shield, basically. Okay, cool. And it was to kill Dreykov, or to end the Red Room. Okay. I wanted to see something. I wanted to see a flashback scene of that, or even like the mission when Hawkeye was sent to kill Black Widow, Natasha, and he decided not to do that. That would have been nice. Of course, for the movie, for the story that they wanted to tell, that would seem like a scene like that. They needed to really work it and put it in the right place. And I don't think, after seeing it twice, there was no moment where they could have done that. The best moment would be doing it in the opening scene. But they needed to do this one, the Ohio one, to focus on family. What does family mean? Loving somebody, trusting somebody, caring for somebody. And that was always the thing that Natasha kind of struggled with. I think the first moment that we realize that Natasha has trust issues is in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, when she's with Steve, and she asks him, if it was up to me to save you, would you trust me? And he's like, yeah, now I would. So that was the first moment that we noticed, like, oh, Natasha has some trust issues with people that she cares about, or that she should care about, or that care about her. And we did get a sense of why that is. Like the moment in the farmhouse with Melina and Alexei and Elena, that was a powerful scene. But again, because of Florence Pugh's performance, when she says, like, you've all lied to me, you weren't really my family, nobody told me and she was 3 years old. She was sent to the Red Room when she was 3. My God. Like, that is why I enjoy this movie quite a lot. Even though it's not like the best superhero movie or the best MCU or even top 5, like, it's still a good movie. It's just that the story that they told, in terms of not only the timeline, like chronologically, but in the release order timeline, just didn't make sense. And with the 1-year delay, it didn't help. That didn't help either. But I'm glad it exists. I'm glad this movie exists. We should have had a Black Widow movie for a while, and, well, better late than never, I guess. And yeah, this was probably the maybe, we'll see, the last Scarlett Johansson, Natasha Romanoff appearance in the MCU. I was hoping that the movie would have ended with a more personal moment, like the thing with Antonia and Now You're Free, blah blah blah. That was all nice. Like, I'm glad that happened, and I'm glad that Taskmaster didn't die, because such a cool character. I hope we see Taskmaster again, whoever he or she may be, because we don't know if Antonia will. I think, what's her name? Olga Kurylenko. I don't know if she'll come back as Antonia, as Taskmaster. We'll see. Yelena will be back, and I'm very glad about that, because Yelena was awesome, so relatable as well. And yeah, but I was a bit surprised that Alexei and even Melina. I was surprised that they didn't die. But there was no finality with their characters. They just went away. That was it. And even the Red Guardian was supposed to be this mockery Russian Captain America. It was really funny. Sometimes a bit offensive, but still in a funny way. Like, it was a funny character, a really personality. One of those, like, what a character. But his fight scene with Taskmaster, like, I didn't see anything there. It was really a short scene. Like, there was no moment that Alexei, like, kind of redeemed himself. There was a moment with Melina, but I think there's more to the story, because we could have a second Black Widow movie with the Yelena. And yeah, like, why did Melina so quickly decided to shoot up, or like, that grenade launcher and destroy the Red Room place? It was a bit too quick of a decision. Maybe she has something to hide. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. We'll find out, maybe. But yeah, I think they could have used Alexei and Melina's characters a bit better. Because Alexei was the comedy, Melina was the character that kind of had a bit of a redemption. Kind of a small character arc with, like, from the opening scene to that moment in the farmhouse. And yeah, I think the movie had a lot of potential, definitely, to set up more stuff than just the post-credit scene, which I will talk about in just 1 minute. And it didn't. I'm kind of sad that it didn't. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. A solid MCU entry. Weird that they decided, even before all this past year happened, that this was going to be the first Phase 4 movie. I think they did that just because of the post-credit scene and the Yelena Belova addition to the MCU. Because apart from that, why do that? I don't know. And yeah, the post-credit scene. Yelena mourning the loss of Natasha. A really nice scene at Natasha's grave. I didn't quite get who made that grave. If it was Yelena before, and that was like the second or third time that she came around, because nobody else knew about it. Wait, maybe even, yeah, who knew about it? Who did Natasha tell after? I don't know. Okay, yeah, I'm best not to overthink that. And we have Valentina Alessa Defontaine making an appearance. It was supposed to be her first MCU appearance, but because of how they reshuffled the TV shows and the movies, it was her second appearance. The first being Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we don't know if it's trickery, if somebody told Valentina something else. Let's call her Val something, like a lie, so she could get Yelena to do this, to go that way. But yeah, she tells her that it was Clint Barton, Hawkeye himself, who killed Natasha. And I think the predominant thought around this post-credit scene is, why? That is such an easy to fix or easy to maneuver around obstacle. Just having a chat with Clint Barton, who Yelena knows was a friend of Natasha. I think the only, Maybe what they could do that could be really interesting is, let's say that Yelena didn't snap. She wasn't one of the people that got snapped. She lived through 2018 to 2023 during the blip time. Half the population is gone. She didn't want to contact Natasha, or maybe she did, but or maybe she was already working for Val and she didn't want to mess around with all the Avengers stuff. And there was this guy, Ronan, going around completely obliterating gangs, all sorts of criminal factions around the world. And that's the idea that Yelena has of Clint. He turned to the bad side, to the evil side. Maybe that was, maybe he could have done it. Maybe he could have killed Natasha. Who knows? I don't know, but still, like, if Yelena does show up in Hawkeye in the TV show, which I hope she does, she's awesome. Florence Pugh is awesome. One of the best talents of the MCU right now. And yeah, if she does show up, like, I hope they have a conversation and they fix it like that, because it's easy to fix. It's saying, oh no, this happened. You know Thanos? Yeah, you needed the stone and we needed the stone back, but we went back in time to do this. That's what happened. But again, like, why not say to the entire world, like why not the remaining Avengers say, oh, Tony Stark died. This is saving the universe. And Natasha also died saving the universe. And all of us, all these Avengers and Guardians, Doctor Strange and Black Panther and Dora Milaje, we all helped save the universe and bring everyone back. Like, I bet that's a guarantee. I bet everyone knows that. So why do this? Why make this a post-credit scene? Like, I was really sure that the post-credit scene would be Val talking to Thunderbolt Ross. And maybe just recruiting Yelena, not having recruited, because as we could see, they have been working together for quite a while, but also Taskmaster. So maybe Thunderbolt Ross and Val found out where they were, and they talked to Taskmaster, Antonia, and Yelena, saying, "Oh, we were building a team." Because basically, Val's new position in the MCU, her new thing, Val's thing is being the next Nick Fury, but she's building a slightly less heroic team, like an anti-hero team, or yeah. But yeah, I just hope that we would have had more Thunderbolt Ross stuff. But we're gonna have to wait for She-Hulk. Maybe other projects. Maybe in the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi. Or Shang-Chi, I mean. Because Abomination is showing up in Shang-Chi, which is wild. So cool. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that those are my thoughts. I enjoyed it. There are some problems with it that I completely understand, some of which I agree, some of which I don't really mind. But we needed this movie. We needed Black Widow to have our own solo movie, solo adventure. Maybe this wasn't the best time to release it, but it is what it is. And I'm just glad we do have it. And future generations, like in 10 years' time, teenagers will see all this, do a marathon, and they will watch Black Widow after Civil War, and they might not notice the difference. They might not really, understand. That is the issue, though. That is the issue, because the post-credit scene says that Natasha is like, that's the thing. That's the thing with the chronological order that I sometimes tell some of my friends that want to do a marathon and start watching MCU movies, like, watch it in the release order, the release dates order, in the release order, basically. Don't watch it in chronological order, because some of the post-credit scenes, which some of them are really important, like Captain Marvel, basically, is the second movie in chronological order. It goes Captain America: The First Avenger, Captain Marvel, because it happens in the 1990s. the post-credit scene for Captain Marvel, which is the full scene, and it helps understand what happens in Endgame, is her meeting Cap, Natasha, Rhodey, Bruce in the Avengers compound, and they talk, supposedly, and she goes and saves Tony in Endgame. If you see that movie, if that's the second movie you see because you're watching in chronological order, you're gonna be like, what the hell? I don't understand any of this because I haven't seen all the other movies. So yeah, if you like, take it from me. Tell your friends, your family members that want to watch it in release order because it's easier. But this movie, Black Widow, maybe you don't. I don't know. It's a bit confusing, but I'm really glad that I got to see it finally. The first MCU movie in 2 years. This hadn't happened ever, I think, because 28, it was May, Iron Man 1, and then either July or August, I think it was August, The Incredible Hulk, and then it was 2010, but May, Iron Man 2. So it was 1 year and 9 months. This was actually 2 years. We hadn't had a break like this ever, you know. It was tough. It was tough for me. I'm an MCU super fan, and it really hurt me, you know, to wait that long. Of course, we had WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki. Expect a video on Loki because the season finale has been released in a couple of days, maybe tomorrow. And yeah, I loved it. I love it. I love it. I love the MCU. I cannot wait for the next 20 projects in the next 2 years. 20 something projects in 2-3 years. What the hell? This is my dream come true. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this little review chat about Black Widow. I'll see you soon. This has been just one more opinion. I have been Charlie, and you have been awesome. Take care and goodbye.